Evening, boys.
Evening, Sally. Welcome to The Chatting, your local pubcast. I'm Rob.
I'm Kirk.
I'm Mark.
And I'm the other Mark. 3 pints, Sally. And what are you having?
A fuzzy navel, please.
Cheers. I'll fetch him over.
Evening, boys.
Evening, Mark.
Evening, Mark.
All right.
All right. You're all right?
Wonderful, thank you. Are you?
Yeah, I'm fine, thank you.
Awesome.
I've got a little surprise gift for you, Rob.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Ready for you to get your geek on?
All right, yeah.
I've
Geez,
got
what odd?
Geek.
Oh, geek.
Oh,
right,
geek
okay.
on,
Is
yeah.
geek
Yeah.
on?
Is it a beer?
I'll get my geek on.
No, it's
It's
not
not
a
a
beer.
caravan, is it?
No, it's definitely,
It's got to be a
do
caravan.
Can't be doing
Gutted.
with listening to him talk about wobble
it's
boxes
definitely
again.
not a caravan.
All right.
Hey, we could play a game.
Oh, yeah.
So I've got a special guest for us tonight.
All
So
right.
you can get your geek on, Rob.
Yeah, all right, okay.
Is
hey,
he a caravanner as well?
Well, we could play a game.
Okay.
What's my job?
Your job?
No, not my job.
That's one of my
We've got a
features.
guest.
His job.
His job.
Is it a he?
We've got Steve here.
Oh, hi,
Okay.
Steve.
Oh, this bloke here.
Hello everyone.
Where did you come from?
That door over there.
So, Steve, this is Rob. This is Kirk.
Hello,
and Mark.
Steve.
Steve.
Hello
Oh,
everybody.
hi, Steve.
Shall I tell you what he does, or do you want to have a guess? We could do some questions.
Is he
Yes
some-
and no only.
Is
Well,
he something
I'm
to do with
guessing.
caravans?
Yes.
I'm guessing,
Well.
based, given what you've said,
Yeah.
is Steve a caravan mechanic?
No.
Yeah.
I like this as a yes/no game.
Do they exist?
Oh, absolutely.
caravans?
yeah.
Caravan mechanic.
Well, all right, caravan mechanic. A caravan
Technician.
service engineer, technician.
Service
It's the same
engineer.
thing, innit?
Or a
Ooh.
technician.
A coach builder.
Oh.
If you want to get overly...
Right. Yeah, well, that's what I meant.
Okay.
So does your job involve working with other people?
Yes.
Oh.
Well, you sound disappointed that he works with the people.
No, I'm thinking of a question to ask him. Does it involve food?
No.
I'm not asking because I know.
Is that it? Have we run out of questions?
Does it involve working outside?
Sometimes.
I hate sometimes answers.
Sorry. I know it's yes/no, but it's both.
Let you off.
Would we know the company that you work for?
100%.
Is it Tesco's? Is it Amazon?
That'd involve food, wouldn't it?
No, not necessarily. Wow.
No.
Okay, so it's no then.
Okay.
Over to Rob. He's thinking.
Oh, this is a nightmare.
Are you a nurse? That's what I were expecting from you.
No. Did it require you going to university?
For me, no. But some people can do if they wish.
Oh.
Does your job involve working funny hours? Or is it set 40 hours a week, 9 to 5?
It's not 9 to 5. It's set hours a week, but they never really work that way. But
So-
it's funny hours.
Right, okay. I thought there was yes and no, but...
I know, but I'm trying to help
Well,
you
yeah,
out.
but you're
'cause
also
you're
meant to
struggling.
be Kurt next and you screwed him off.
Oh, sorry,
I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm
Yeah.
going to put you out your misery.
Yes, please.
All right. So, Rob, Kirk and Mark, but particularly Rob, Steve is a cameraman for Sky Sports.
Oh. Sally, 3 packets of pork scratchings because these boys won't need to talk for an hour.
Oh, that's interesting.
Steve, strap in.
Oh, my.
Oh, what have I let myself
He's
in
going to
for?
be
He's our
geeking
resident
all over
geek.
you.
This
when
is
it comes to cameras.
fantastic. Oh, my God. I don't think I've ever spoke to a cameraman before, let alone who works for Sky. So
There we
Don't
go.
get Mark started because he'll be like,
Yeah.
now then, I tried to negotiate a new deal.
Yeah, we'll come to that later.
absolutely will. Wow! Oh wow! This is fantastic.
Yeah.
This is absolutely.
Listeners, just so you
we
know,
know.
Rob is actually really now
It's
excited.
like,
This is
it's like finding out Father Christmas is real all over
Oh
again.
my gosh!
He's got
What do you mean he's not real?
This is
whoa.
amazing. So I almost feel like once you said cameraman, my head went. So I don't know if I missed so. What do you film? What do you? I don't even know the terminology.
What does that excite us?
Yeah,
What do you camera?
What do you cameraman operate?
What do you point your finger at?
What genre of Sky programs do you do?
Yeah, so generally I work for Sky Sports News. So
Right, okay,
I will
okay.
go film press conferences, building up to football at the weekend, or
Yeah.
sit down interviews with players, managers, whatever.
Oh wow!
I'll do lives, building up to games before, and like post-match press conferences or tunnel interviews, that sort of stuff.
Oh wow! Sweet.
And, sorry, can I just ask before Rob goes into all his
Yeah.
technical questions that I know is absolutely coming, so I hope you're ready for him.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing this job for?
I've been staff at Sky for 8 years now. Before that, I was freelance. But I basically started when I left university. So when I was about 20, I started. I started out cable rigging, basically from a satellite truck up to the gantry on soccer Saturday. And then I just worked my way up the ladder, so to speak. And now I do cameras every day, and then I also do like manage sort of some of the smaller productions. Like I used to do all the netball last year and stuff like that.
Nice.
So, and is that kind of how it generally works? It's a general progression into being a camera operator. Is camera operator the right word? Rather than cameraman? Because these days...
In this day and age, yeah.
Camera there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah and no. A lot of people just come straight in from college being a camera operator.
Right.
Not a lot of people progress from rigging on the big OB, like outside broadcasts, to cameras on the big outside broadcasts. They tend to stay in that mould, or they go off to do other stuff. For me, it's just the way it worked. It weren't like I set my heart out to be a camera operator for anyone. It's just the way my life sort of panned out, really.
Yeah.
Did you always have a bit of an interest in like broadcasting and production and stuff like that, or was it literally a job that you thought, I'm going to do this? 'Cause it seemed...
I did photography at school when I was younger, so I'd always got a little bit of an eye of what looks nice, but that was more arty, black and white type stuff more than any film, because back when I was young, cameras like that didn't do film.
Right.
No, they're not like now where every stills camera does video.
I know the
anyway.
feeling, don't you?
Yeah. Basically, long story short, my uncle worked for an outside broadcast unit in Sheffield. He knew the person who had the contract for Soccer Saturday, providing the cameras and the cable riggers, and he just got me a bit of weekend work. So basically, I used to go along to a match on a Saturday and a Tuesday or Wednesday night, and I'd basically connect a cable from the satellite truck, however means, up over a roof or whatever, or to a connection box, up to the camera, and then that was my work done. And then basically, I just helped the cameramen up with the camera operators up to the gantries, set the lights up and all that sort of stuff.
Steve, I want you to set a picture for me now, right?
He's off.
I'm very visual. So I want you to imagine that you're at work now, right?
Okay.
On a typical day, and you've got your rig set up.
Yeah.
I want you to tell us what that looks like for me to be able to envisage kind of how this looks, and for everyone that's listening.
Well,
how does it look? Where are you? What are you wearing? Do you have a headset?
What are you wearing?
Well, no, I don't mean, I don't need to know the details
You're
of
going
what you're
commando.
wearing. Yeah, more like what sort of rig do you have to have and all that?
Every job's different, every day is different. That's one of the good things about my job.
Right.
So if I'm just doing a press conference, for example, I will be there, just me, camera, tripod, back of the room, like a room like this. There'll be a stage sort of behind where you are, where the manager would sit, with all the advertising boards and the lights and all that jazz. I'd be at the back of the room. There'll be a load of chairs in between where the reporters sit. I'm just at the back of the room recording the manager as he walks in, and then the press conference.
And
then
do
send
you
it
have
back.
like a headset on or anything, or is it just you?
No,
Are you the one?
No, because in that situation, generally we're not live.
Right.
So all I'm listening to is the manager and the questions, because there'll be like a moving microphone going around for the questions.
Yeah.
So I'll just be listening to the input into the camera of them.
They say, do you have? So do they all?
Here he
them,
goes.
I know, here we go.
There's no stopping him now.
Do all their microphones all plug into an interface, a box, and that then plugs into your camera so that you're getting direct
At Premier
audio?
League, yeah. So at Premier League, basically there's a top table mic for the manager, or 2 or 3 if it's like a bigger press conference, like new managers and the owners are in and all that sort of stuff. Then there'll be a roving mic that'll go through all the reporters, and basically you'll have where the camera's set up at the back. It's not always just me. There'll be other broadcasters there. We'll just plug an XLR into the output, straight into the camera. Job done.
That's it.
Yeah.
Right, brilliant.
XLR. I could see your eyes fluttering then when he said XLR. It's
tell you.
male or female?
So,
here we go.
And then how big is this camera?
It's not that big, Rob. For the benefit of the tape, he's got his
never
arms
know.
like that.
I bet it's got a good lens on it.
I'd say, like, we use Panasonic P2s at the minute. They are changing.
Okay, yeah.
Do you know them, Rob?
Yeah,
Oh.
vaguely, because they're a broadcast camera rather
Yeah.
than what I would use.
Yeah,
obviously.
so if I'm doing stuff like that, I would use a P2 just because it's got a longer lens on it, an Eng lens. So I've got like a J17 on mine at the minute.
Does
that mean
do you know
anything
that,
to
I
you?
Rob?
don't actually know what that is. No,
That's
Mark.
just length of the lens. You double it and blah blah blah. Basically, just because usually you're not right in front. It's not like if we were filming here where you'd
Yeah.
have a camera literally right next to us.
Yeah.
I'm at back of the room, so I
Yeah.
need a decent length lens.
And
to
is that
get
is
tight
it
enough.
the focal length of what it is?
Not the focal length, just length of the lens, how far
Right.
you can zoom in.
Yeah.
effectively.
Right. Okay. I was looking at one literally. When was it now? I can't remember why I was looking at this, but I ended up looking at. I saw a video. That's it on Instagram of the guys that actually film football, and they sit on this
Okay.
low chair.
Oh yeah, camera free. That's called a Sheffield plate, by the way.
Is it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
It's got like a big base with it.
Yeah.
It literally, and he's
Yeah,
holding
that's always
the
camera free. It's called a Sheffield plate. That what it's.
Why? Why is it? Why is the?
I have absolutely no idea. I just know.
Oh,
So basically,
I'm
not that
it's a really low down chair.
Yeah,
and
I've
the
seen
camera
them.
sits in front of it with a huge lens on it.
Yeah, and they're
he
swinging
just-
around in it,
and
aren't
he
they?
literally
It
swings.
looks-
yeah,
it looks
from
really
left to
comfy.
right. But that led me to research these lenses, and it's like they're 121 times zoom.
Oh yeah, the big old lenses. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're for filming matches. They'll have them on like camera 2 on the gantry as well.
Yeah.
So when you're watching a football match, you've got the wide angle, which is camera 1. Then if a player does a foul or whatever, they'll cut in and it'll be a tight shot, like head
Yeah.
and shoulders. That's
Yeah.
always camera 2. They need the length of the lens
Yes.
to get that tight.
Right.
shot.
Yeah. Right. Wow.
So, something I have always wondered, because I ask boring questions because I don't really care what camera you use. But I've always wondered with stuff like that, like with cameramen, and are you self-employed and like subcontract, or are you actually employed by?
No, so I'm staff,
Yeah.
but there's not many of us that are staff.
Right. So, I thought.
So basically, of what I do for Sports News, there's 10 of us between England and Scotland.
Right.
Always 5 of us on shift, but there's also God knows how many contractors that all have their own equipment, and that they have like a list of kit that they have to have, and then if they'll go sent to do the same stuff as me day to day. But like when you're watching a game live, that is all another company that Sky will contract to film the games, and then the cameramen for them, or camera operators for them, will be, generally speaking, all self-employed.
Are you sorry, Kirk? Are you responsible for your camera then? Do you take that? Is that yours that you have to look after and deal with?
There's me and another guy that share what we call a Ranger vehicle, so that's got a satellite dish on top.
Right.
We share the van between us, so I'm on shift or he's on shift,
Right,
and we have
okay.
swap over. So then all the kit lives in the van,
Right.
basically.
I'm with you.
I have a question for you. So all these events that you film, what's the best or most exciting event you've ever filmed? And you've gone,
Ooh.
even when you weren't expecting, you've gone there, you want, this is amazing. I'm so glad I've filmed it.
I've done the Open a few times.
The golf, if it's
The Golf Open, yeah.
yeah.
The first one I did was up at Carnoustie. That would have been 2018, 2019, something like that.
Okay.
That sort of region. I was on camera for that, so I was doing Sports News. So we were there basically the weekend before it starts to start showing people all it's entailed. People will think, oh, filming golf is quite easy. Honestly, the OB compound is as big as Meadowhall in the car park. It is mental. It is unbelievable. Like the size of it. It's unreal.
Well, I were going to say, because I don't watch golf much on TV,
Yeah.
but when I watch it, I'm going, that must be a nightmare for a cameraman to follow that. But I mean,
that's
but I mean,
where-
I don't know if that's easy or not. It just looks.
No, well,
It can't be easy following a ball flying at speed through
like
it.
the camera I'd have for normal newsy sort of stuff, it'd be next door to impossible, because as soon as it goes in the sky, you can't see it. But the way they've developed the cameras now, the viewfinders are colour, and you can.
Does it track it or something? Or
No, it doesn't track it, but you can set your peak in, so the white of the ball will light up green. So then when it flies up in
okay.
the sky, the ball turns green in effect.
Okay, so it helps them. Okay.
Yeah.
When it comes to like camera operators or whatever, is there different like specialities and
Yeah,
skill sets?
yeah.
So like, would you have someone that specialises, like you say, like yourself, with OBs and interviews and live?
Yeah.
But then maybe someone different that's doing, for instance, filming the Formula One.
Yeah, so
you know what I mean?
yeah, basically what I do is what's called eng work. So I control my own iris, which of exposure for, I know Rob knows, but
I'll
you
know.
three might not. Yeah. So I'll control my own iris. So if it's over underexposed, that's my fault. Whereas if you're doing a football match or golf or Formula One or any live sport where you've got multiple cameras, they're all connected to a central truck, which then the engineers will rack the cameras and the colour balancers to match them all. So when it cuts from camera to camera, it doesn't, the colours all
okay,
match.
yeah.
So as a viewer, you never notice it. Whereas what I do, my camera's not connected to anything other than my live unit if I'm doing a live or sending a press conference back to London
And
Live
you're
or
still
whatever.
responsible for what signal goes out
Yeah.
to that live
Yeah,
feed.
yeah.
Yeah. So you've got a lot more pressure, basically.
Oh,
Or different
yeah.
pressures.
When it finishes,
different.
oh, I didn't press record.
Yeah, that's when you
We've had
hope
a
the live
couple
view worked. Yeah.
We've had a couple of them on here.
Has that ever happened?
Not where I've not pressed record, no.
No.
Well, following on from that question, what's been your biggest mistake that you've? I'm not saying you don't look like a guy that makes mistakes,
Come on,
but
backpedaling.
but let's say obviously we
Hey,
all
we all
make
make 'em,
mistakes.
mate.
Yeah,
we all make
we
them.
all make
So what
'em.
has been your biggest mistake? you've
I
done?
did an interview for a little program that used to have called Game Changers. It was for basically for kids to watch.
So it didn't really matter then. So
I didn't say that. We were doing an interview with a footballer. I was doing the camera with all the audio coming in, and we had 2 cameras on the interview. I was listening. I could hear the player, but quite faintly. But I thought, oh, it'll be okay. It's there. We'll just boost the level in edit.
sounds like Mark. That's
It
what
was
you
quite.
do.
Yeah,
It'll be all right.
It'd be all right. I thought I'd get away with it, but obviously, while you're mid flow of doing an interview with a player that you've only got for 10 minutes, you don't want to start because you're eating into your time. Obviously, couldn't edit it and get around it, and I got a bit of a telling off.
I did just not record on his channel at all.
No, it was there, but it was so low level and a bit muffled because the mic had dropped off him, but we'd not realised it had properly dropped off, and it was my fault 100%. But it's a learning curve, isn't it?
Yeah.
Things happen.
I presume that were quite early on then in your career. Don't say it were 2 weeks ago. Last week.
Yeah, it was before I was staff. It was when I was on contract for a couple of years on camera.
Oh, okay.
But it was one of them, like, yeah, stuff happens.
Yeah, it does.
You know.
But that's probably been your worst mistake you've ever made.
Yeah.
Do you have a preference? Like when when you're going out on jobs, is there ones that you kind of go, yeah, brilliant. Today's
Any
gonna be
that
a
are
good
local
day.
to where I live.
So, you won't do any at Snooker, will you? Crucible? Do you do any of that? I presume you won't,
No,
'cause that's
I've
all
never done.
BBC,
I've
innit?
never done Crucible because that's all BBC. But
Yeah.
I used to do. Sky used to have Premier League snooker. Like they have Premier League darts.
Yeah,
They used
yeah.
to have snooker at one bit. So back then I was cable rigging. So I used to go on a Wednesday and rig the venue wherever we were, and then on Thursday it would be TX or transmission day.
What's the
Then-
furthest it's sent you in terms of where you work?
Australia.
Yeah.
It don't get much further than that.
No, it doesn't. I'm expecting. I work between Scotland and Netherlands.
Went to Birmingham once.
Chuffy, no, what was that for?
Yeah. So the other couple of years ago now, I went to
Kangaroo
Australia.
Olympics.
I knew you were going to say that.
No, it was the Women's World Cup. So I was out there for 2 months, which was
Brilliant.
class.
Yeah.
Yeah, if any of you ever get a chance to go to Australia, go. It's unbelievable.
It is somewhere
I'm scared
I
of
really wanna go.
spiders.
Yeah, well, that's,
Especially big spiders.
that's what I keep saying to my our lass keeps wanting to go to Australia. I'm like, there's just too many things that kill you.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah,
Like,
well,
while you're sat on the loo and stuff.
Would that put you off though?
But it won't
Yeah.
put me off, but
thing is, if you go
he's
to
right.
Australia, you are going to go to the bigger cities generally. So there's none of
Yeah.
that sort of stuff there.
Perth, I'd love to go to Perth.
I did Brisbane. I was there for age. I love Brisbane. Lovely city.
Yeah.
In Sydney, obviously. Then I was up the Gold Coast a little bit, just because that's where the England women's team were. Had their hotel and the training and stuff.
It's times like that you go, yeah, this is a great job.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you just go? Did you take your family? Or was it?
No, so it was just me.
Just you?
Me, basically, there was how many cameras? There was 3 camera operators, 3 reporters. 3 reporters, production manager, and 2 producers. So basically, I was on England. There was 1 crew that was just floating around and covering the general tournament, and then 1 crew with Ireland. England and Ireland were in it. Scotland and Wales weren't in it. And the idea was when any of the teams got knocked out, that crew would come back. But obviously England were
So
one
you're
of the
like,
favourites.
this is yeah, this is fantastic.
Yeah, so basically, because England got all the way to the final, I had 2 months in Australia.
Yeah.
And then I stayed out there for a week after the tournament, and my girlfriend flew out.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, so she flew out the week of the tournament finishing, so she came and saw the final. Then we stayed together for a week on holiday, basically.
Free
Come
tickets?
back.
Did you get free tickets?
What, to the games?
Yeah.
Yeah, we was in all the games, yeah.
Yeah, good. Oh, that's good, isn't it?
That is good.
So when you're covering something for as long as that, then do you end up on first name terms with players and?
No, because you're not really.
I was going to ask that. I was going to say, do you get to know him a little bit?
You don't become like mates or friends or anything because they're there concentrating on a tournament. And like with stuff like that, we're non-rights holders, so we only get limited access.
Okay.
So like if we were there for the Beeb or ITV that I think the tournament was on, they get a lot more access during the tournament. They basically get like 1 or 2 interviews per week as like a sit-down interview with just them and the player, whoever it is. But England, obviously, they appreciate what we do at Sky and understand that we're basically advertising the tournament for them.
Yeah.
And they also realise that if we're doing a press conference or a sit-down interview or whatever, their sponsors are on our channel. And that's ultimately what sponsors want. They want to be on TV for the world to see. So do you understand that?
And it don't get much bigger than Sky, does it?
No,
that's
exactly.
The thing. That's the thing that when you've got that banner, you know, I can imagine that it does give, maybe not to you personally, I mean, more to do with the brand. It opens doors, doesn't it?
Exactly.
To get into places.
100%. As soon as you start saying to anyone, look, we want this, they understand the benefits of it.
I notice it because the only sport I watch really is F1.
Yeah.
And I notice it all the time that like as soon as an F1 commentator or reporter or whatever is going up into the pit lane or going, it's almost as though any of the other broadcasters have to. Well, I'm not saying that it is the case,
give way.
but it's almost as though they have to give way. You know?
Yeah, a little bit, but you got to consider with F1. Sky, I believe, are the host broadcast that goes around the world.
Yeah.
Whereas if like it's Dutch TV doing
It's
an
just
interview,
their
it's just
local.
for there. So obviously, Sky get a little bit preference on that. I believe. I don't know. I've never worked on F1, but that I can imagine that's how it works.
Though, wouldn't you?
I did get offered once, and I couldn't do it. I got offered a Hungarian Grand Prix. I know, I was devastated. For some reason, I couldn't go. I can't remember why. And then one of my
Head
colleagues
hanging off.
I can't remember what
I just
it
can't
was.
think of getting married. I don't know. I can't think of a reason. I mean, I could reschedule a wedding, to be honest.
going to say, you would.
I can't remember what it was, but for some reason I couldn't go.
Were you recording a podcast with some lives for somebody?
No offence, lads, but I wouldn't have been here. I can't remember what it was, but anyway, I got offered to go. And then one of my colleagues went, and he's just done it ever since.
No.
But he's fine. Thing is, I know from talking to a couple of lads that have done it. One of my good mates used to do it every week, or every race. You don't actually see any of the race.
No, I can imagine that.
Because basically, the team that are filming the crew that are going around the pit lane and that, they're all separate and they do all their own thing. But if you're there for sports news, you're generally around the
Paddock area
at the back for doing the interviews when drivers are retired early, blah, blah, blah. So you don't see any, you see it on a TV. You may as well be at home watching it with a cup of tea anyway.
Well, I don't know. I think there's a lot of people that would give
I have
the right arm to be stood in the paddock interviewing the drivers.
I have worked for F1 Direct before I was staff at Sky.
Now
Hang on, he's geeking.
Now I'm excited.
He's geeking out.
I thought you knew this.
No,
No?
What did you do?
Basically, it wasn't an F1 racer. I went to Portimao it was about 10 years ago now. Mm-hmm. So basically, they used to have F2 and F3.
Yeah.
Or it was GP2 and GP2 back then. GP3, sorry. F1 was in like Malaysia or somewhere where GP2 and 3 couldn't afford to go. Mm-hmm. So they went to Portimao, and it was basically with a view of seeing how the circuit could deal with F1 and all the entourage and have a race there at the same time. Mm-hmm. So F1 didn't have enough staff to crew the actual race and everyone for GP2, GP3. So they got a lot of freelancers in through various companies, and obviously one of these companies I knew and worked for, so I got off. I went to Portugal for basically 4 or 5 nights.
Brilliant.
But again, I didn't stay for the race because they needed me to rig and set it up. And then I flew home, and because
I was just there unloading tyres.
I was gutted. I landed at like 11:55 p.m. and because it had not ticked over to the next day when I got back to England, they didn't pay me the next day travelling home. So then the next day, I was back working at like Burnley and Vision or something on the Saturday. So.
Steve, you know, when you said earlier about you don't really get to know any of these other people that you come in contact with.
You get to know them a little bit, so like some of the managers that will recognise you know you, but they're not like your best mates.
But what about the reporters and the presenters and stuff? Do you tend to work? Do you ever like you pretty much pair up with them, or is it just literally it could be anyone at any time?
The reporters are obviously live at where they live, and they're not they're going to send a reporter from Leeds all the way to London for one press conference. 'Cause
Right.
That's just, it's not sensible.
No.
So basically, reporters are all on their patch. So
Right.
we have one in Leeds that's staff. So I get to work with him quite a lot.
Yeah.
But obviously, I get sent across because there's a lot of Premier League clubs over Manchester, Liverpool way. I get sent across there a lot, so I work with them guys quite a lot as well.
Right. And so you do tend to work with some of this few people.
Yeah.
And you definitely get to know them.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So obviously, I was in Australia for 2 months with Anton. So obviously, when you finish work, you go for a beer.
Yeah.
What you do, because you don't know anyone else there.
Yeah.
So you do become good mates. And I've got quite a lot of good mates that are reporters or other cameramen. 'Cause sometimes you're doing like a 3 or 4 camera interview on 1 or 2 guests. You can't do 4 cameras on your own. So there's 2 camera operators there to put it all out.
Oh, Robert tried, wouldn't you?
I would.
Oh, yeah.
He'd be in charge
give
trying
it a
to take over.
So I've got another question for you. If you could be a camera operator in any field, in the TV, we'll discount film because that's a completely its own genre, but in TV, if you could be a camera operator in any field for any type of program, what would it be?
It would be sport.
Would it?
'Cause
Yeah.
if Sky Sun said, right, I've got to start doing Sky News stuff, I'd probably leave because I've got no interest in politics and filming child murders and all that sort of nonsense. I hate it. I've got no time for it whatsoever.
What about David Attenborough?
I
Planet
wouldn't
Earth
mind
sort of
doing
stuff?
that, but I'm not
Cold
great.
though, wouldn't it?
Well, it's not
Personal-
always in cold countries, is it?
No, personally, I'm not great with animals. I'm not an animal lover.
Well, that answers that.
But I wouldn't mind doing it because you'd be using top of the range
Oh,
cameras
yeah.
because of the quality of.
I mean,
how
they don't
do
want you to
stuff.
look after lions or anything.
Yeah.
Just hold that penguin there while I try and get it.
But I can imagine that's quite a specialised subject to
Yeah.
film compared to what I do.
imagine you've got to be patient. Because
Yeah. Yeah.
when you look at the programs, they look like they set up and then they go around and say, we'll be here for 7 days. And you'll
Yeah,
be
they
like,
do.
what, you going back to hotel? No, I'll be
Could you imagine
here
what
Yeah,
the
yeah.
footage would look
For
like? if I were
7
doing
days.
that?
Yeah, it's not like it's not like you can just lock the camera off on a big wide and hope something happens. You've got to be.
No.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
at the end of these David Attenborough programs, the 10 minutes, they usually tell you, going,
they do, yeah.
we set up this 7 months, didn't
Yeah.
film anything. We had to come back and then weather,
Yeah.
and you're like, and it's for like,
Yeah.
2 minutes of footage.
It
and you
does
go,
look amazing
Yeah.
now, and it was exactly that
Yeah.
made me think. I wonder if he'd be interested in doing something down that line of work.
Yeah,
if
he don't
an
like animals,
opportunity
so-
came
Yeah,
up.
I wouldn't mind doing it, but I can also appreciate that when you're getting sent to the North Pole, it's a bit chilly.
Absolutely. Or South Africa and
Yeah, and it's
whatever.
boiling, and then you've got a lion chasing you. Yeah, no thanks.
And is like being a camera operator, as far as you're concerned, like you'd be happy to do that for the rest of your life, or are you kind of looking at it now and going, oh, I won't mind being a producer, or
Well, not so much producing. I quite enjoy like the managing of smaller productions. Like last year, I was looking after netball, which was just streamed straight onto YouTube for us. But obviously, that involved multiple cameras with different operators sorting them out, and then working out technically how it was all going to get back to one central place. Then how that was going to then get back to Sky, putting the graphics on. That was a learning curve because I've never done anything with graphics before. So I enjoyed that sort of stuff.
Are you all right there, Rob? Because
Yeah,
you're
I'm
probably
all
getting
right.
quite excited with this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Carry
so-
on, Steve. Sorry.
Yeah, weekly part.
It's different doing graphics when you're editing after, but when you're trying to do it live, it gets complicated
Oh
quick.
gosh, I can
Yeah.
only imagine.
And then you've got a scoreboard, and then you've got an official. We had one game where she pressed the wrong button, bless her. So she added the score to the wrong side. But it automatically updated our graphics because that's the way it worked.
Right.
And then we're trying to work out that she'd done it wrong, and we're like, well, the score on the scoreboard over there says this, but our scoreboard, what's going on? And she just pressed the wrong
I've
button.
seen
by
that on
accident.
football a few times when they've done that.
Yeah.
Where a score's gone up and you've gone, hang on a minute.
literally, it is literally these things that you see on TV. I think some people, obviously not you, Mark, I know you understand this, but I think people forget sometimes that someone's got to put them graphics there. Do you get what I mean? That that's someone's job to either design them, put them on, update
Everything.
them, and like you said, one click of one wrong button. And
Maybe
that's
he
it.
could answer your question about the SCART team.
The SCART.
The SCART cables.
Did you mean the darts?
The dart scoring.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. I used to work on the darts every week.
How does the graphics update so quick when they're scoring? Because in my head, let me tell you what I've got in my head, Stevie.
I think you're wrong, by the way, with what your thoughts were.
No, hold on.
I think I know what this is.
Originally, in my head,
Yeah.
I literally imagined someone sat there and if someone was to throw a 20, someone was pressing 20 on a board,
No.
and it was updating the graphics. Then I realised it's happening too quick for that. Even for someone to press a button,
You
it's
do know
happening too
you
quick.
can even get an app for your phone for people
So
playing dots at
let me
home.
finish.
I'm just.
I don't think there's sensors in the board.
Yeah, but
Keep interrupting him, Mark.
But when the darts player throws one dart, the score doesn't automatically update then. It updates once the score has said what the score
Yeah,
is.
but literally as soon as the last dart goes in. So as soon as the last dart goes in, if they've scored 134, it instantly changes.
Hold on. Is there a lag? Is there a delay
On the picture.
from broadcast?
Well, there always is, but that'd be different the way you're on about, because it'd have to update in the truck with the graphics after. To answer your question, I don't exactly know.
I came to the conclusion that I thought there must be some sort of the board the scoring was being registered automatically, whether that be through sensors or whether it be through cameras or
Yeah, I
the camera
don't
ring,
think there's sensors in the
or,
board.
or whatever it is.
No, I don't exactly know. I can
just
probably
told you.
find out for next time I see you.
Yep.
Please. I know the production manager on the darts.
Make yourself welcome, why don't you?
Yeah, I will. I'll pop in every week.
Season 3, darts.
No, I would really like to know that. I'd be genuinely because
Well,
Next time you
I've
watch
just
it
told
darts
you
and you
it's an
see...
app.
it's a, you've guessed it's an app.
No, I've not guessed.
You've guessed it's an app because people can get apps.
I can't wait till next
Right.
time darts is on TV and you see Steve walking across stage like that having a look. Yep, there's definitely no sensors in there.
I'm in a group on Facebook to do with like outside lodgers, like what? Of
course you are.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. And obviously, people have snooker tables and dartboards in the
Yeah.
lodgers, and people talk about dartboards all the time. And people talk about this app for your phone that you can get, and they're saying, "Oh, it's 99% accurate." And they just set the phone up on a little tripod, pointed towards the board, and as soon as they throw darts in, it registers it.
Wait, listen, I absolutely understand that these things exist.
Yes.
Do I think that Sky Sports filming the World Championship darts
using an app.
have got an iPhone pointing at the dartboard with an app running, updating the graphics on the screen? No, I don't.
Because they have to keep stopping filming every so often to charge phone up.
I won't put it
don't.
past us
But
something
they'll
like
have
that.
something simple. But they'll have something similar, yeah.
I
Motorola
honestly-
V3.
I'm going to
Wouldn't
stick
surprise
by.
me.
I genuinely believe it's one person's job. They've got one fixed angle,
No.
a close up on the board,
No.
and they literally sit
No.
there watching the screen, and the dart goes,
No.
and they go, "Look, one hand." They're not even look.
No.
That's their job.
No,
Dulup,
because
done.
it's
Dulup,
easy.
done.
It's better for a computer to do it than it is a human. Human will make too many mistakes than a computer. So it'll be
but
computer.
it's not hard, Mark. It's literally
But
a
the point
close
is-
up of a dartboard.
The computers
That's
have
why
only been
computers are-
around able to do that for a few years. 10 years ago, they wouldn't have been able to do that.
No,
No,
and
but
they were
it would have
still
been done by.
darts
It
film.
would, yeah, but it wouldn't, I don't think it would have been as quick.
So, actually, it does bring me on to another question. though,
Steve's
Stevie.
still.
Actually,
I'm
we
going to say
talk-
Steve's
talk-
still
talking
in
about
the
it.
room.
We've spoke before on the podcast about technology and the development of technology, and especially around AI.
Yeah.
And AI, taking over people's jobs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you think that a certain an element of your job is under risk in the future? I don't mean like as in tomorrow, but getting to a point. Is it something you worry about?
Yes and no. You're always going to need someone to carry a camera into a room.
Right. Yeah.
Then what's the point in plugging it into a computer when you've already paid
when the
someone to
person's
carry it?
already there. Yeah.
For the what I do day to day, in terms of filming football and things like that, I know they're already trialing or have trialed like basically one camera filming football in 4K on a massive wide angle and then using the computer to zoom in. The problem with it, because it's all one angle, it doesn't work and it doesn't look right.
Right.
So, but in theory, you could do it with multiple cameras at different, all basically rigged into, say, Old Trafford and left there permanently. That could happen one day. The problem comes then, who's going to pay for it? And then the second point would be 1 week Sky filming a game, then midweek, take Man City for example, then on Tuesday night they're playing Champions League, that's on TNT.
Yeah.
Then at weekend it's a BBC game.
Yeah.
Then on
On
Tuesday it's,
Prime. Who's
yeah,
kings,
exactly. So who's going to pay for it and maintain it and stuff?
Yeah.
That could obviously get worked around, but it's not a 30
And then one
second
day he's coughing
conversation.
and farting and he's doing
Yeah.
all sorts of things and you're like, hang on, what's going off here? Let's get a gremlin.
The thing is, as well, I guess your working day, there's so much more to just the fact that you rock up somewhere with a camera, set your tripod up, put the camera on, set your settings of your camera, all that, which is already a lot to do, by the way. then you record it, you get it in
I
camera.
like how you're telling him his job.
Yeah.
No,
I'm learning here. I ain't got a clue.
He's justified because what he wants Stevie to say, yeah, it is hard work or whatever.
No.
It takes ages.
No.
You're really pissed on his bonfire if you go, well, yeah, that's 1 minute gone.
I'm just
Minute and a
setting the
half on a bad
scene.
day.
I'm just setting the scene for everyone.
Yeah.
So Stevie's turned up, he's set up, he's filmed his content, he knows it's all gone well. But from that point on, all he's got is his footage, and I'm saying it because I bloody know. You've got all the footage in the camera, but you've then got to get it out of there. You've got to get it processed. You've got to get it.
Well, yeah. If it's something that I'm gonna edit myself, obviously I'd just drag and drop it into my laptop and just edit with whatever software.
And do you do that quite often?
Not as often as we used to.
Hold on, you've blown my brain now. You edit your own footage?
I can do, yeah. Oh. So if I'm doing a sit-down interview with a football player,
Yeah.
and I put 2 or 3 cameras on it,
Yeah.
I'll drag and drop the footage from the cameras into my laptop and then edit the interview together of the different angles, and then send it back.
And that doesn't take 6 months. Rob.
How we literally just about to say something along similar lines.
12 months.
Yeah,
No, but
Rob.
if you watch the news and you see what's called a package, where say they're talking about the inflation rate or whatever, and then they'll go to the Bank of England and they'll get shots and they'll do interviews with people and blah 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 blah. That will all be edited in basically in back of a van and then sent back to their central hub, then put on the news. They'll do it in an afternoon.
Rob would still be editing Theresa May's resignation.
I think why it's blown our minds
Maggie
is
Thatcher's, in fact.
is that obviously we know it's edited, but we just didn't know it were camera operators that
Sometimes,
did it.
yeah.
We thought we were
Dedicated
dedicated editor that did
Everything
it.
that you've just said there, I understand, as in like the fact
But it
that
was
it's got to
somebody
be
else's
edited or
job.
whatever. But I honestly thought that as a camera operator or whatever, your job was the technical side of collecting the footage, and then once you've got that would be then sent to a team of editors or whatever that then would edit.
But it depends what you're doing. Like, I know how to edit, and the majority of our contractors know how to edit as well. We don't do an awful lot of it on sports news anymore for whatever reasons. Most of what we do will be sent back and someone will edit, a producer will edit it together. So we would send it back via basically a backpack, which is basically a device that's got 6, 7 or 8 SIM cards in it. Or you can plug the Ethernet in it, connect to Wi-Fi, whatever, and then just send it back. So if you've got 3 cameras, say you do a 20-minute interview, you've got an hour's worth of footage to send then. So that's how we'd get back, and they would edit it together, because then if you're doing an interview, say with Marcus Rashford, they'll use shots of Marcus Rashford scoring a goal, getting subbed, whatever the story may be. They will have that all archived back in London and put it into the package together. Whereas obviously out in a field, I haven't got that.
Yeah.
So Stevie, I've got to ask this question, and I think you might find it difficult to answer.
Okay.
Maybe you won't. Who is the most famous person that you've met?
I'm going to ask that as well.
Not necessarily pointing the camera at, because I'm sure there's thousands. Who's the most famous person you've met?
Yeah.
If you're talking football, Harry Kane, Wayne Rooney,
Nice.
Pep Guardiola, obviously.
I love Pep.
I say obviously, but you know.
I love Pep.
I mean, obviously he's famous. Talking general other sports, Floyd Mayweather, Rory McIlroy. Funny story, Rory. We were out filming at Carnoustie. Just went out for walking. I'd not had a chance to set up my radio mics with the frequencies I was allowed to be on and all this sort of stuff. So basically, I would just stick mic with my reporter, just getting a few shots. Rory goes, oh yeah, we'll do an interview while we're doing a practice round. And I'm like, I've not got a wide angle lens on. I've not got a radio mic. Oh my God, this is going to be a disaster.
You sound like Rob. That's what
If you understand, I've got a massive camera on my shoulder. Normally you'd just be wireless, so then you've got less trip hazards. And Rory wants to do it while we're walking down the course. So I've got to walk backwards, by the way. Otherwise, the viewers aren't going to. So I'm basically walking backwards with a cable coming out of my camera that I'm trying to not trip over on a golf course that isn't flat by any stretch of any imagination. We're out a wide angle, and Rory and my reporter just start walking at 1,000,000 miles an hour. I've got to match that speed going backwards. It was horrendous. It was like, as a cameraman, you look at the footage and go, that's not great. But it ran all day on Sports News because they were like, oh, you've got an interview with Rory. That just doesn't happen every day of the week.
Yeah.
So that was like a little funny story. And like, my reporter was like, oh my God, we've got this. We don't get this every day. I'm like, yeah, but it looks average. You're like, don't matter, mate. It's great. And I'm like, okay, whatever.
Something you just said then that made me think, Did you say something about the frequencies that you can have radio?
Yeah.
Channel? Is that so that you can't mic someone up and then be listening into their conversation? Or?
No, it's more to.
It's a licensing thing.
Yeah, it's
isn't
a
it?
It's a licensing
to
thing, yeah.
people.
So basically, and also like on something like the golf, a big event, you've got God knows how many broadcasters there. They've all got their own frequencies. It's to stop us clashing.
Right,
So if I'm walking into a certain, like say the putting green, I then can't be clashing with someone else.
Right.
Because we have so many
Taxi for
licenses.
Sandra.
Yeah. We have so many licenses that we're allowed to be on day to day. But obviously on an event like that, everyone's got specific. You're on this. You're on that. You're on whatever.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting that what you just said there about like as a camera operator, you look back at the footage and you judge it more harshly because Rob's all joking aside regarding whatever software or whatever. Rob is incredible at what he does. He really is. Rob should be
Faster.
Does he want
Rob. I've said this for many, many years. What Rob does, whether it's videography or whatever, he should be doing it as a career. He's incredibly talented, and he's
Too kind.
Well, you are, and his vision blows my brain. Like every time he's filming something or whatever, he'll go, right, we're just going to film it from this angle, or we're just going to film it from this angle. And sometimes, I'm not daft when it comes to stuff like this, but sometimes I'm sat there going, why? What we do it? But then all of a sudden, he'll use it, maybe even in a 3-second edit or a 3-second, and it makes the world of difference. And if ever you get chance, Rob has got a YouTube channel called The Big Toe.
Okay.
Toe as in TOW.
This sounds really weird.
Yeah.
Where's this going?
So you know the context.
OnlyFans. No, The Big Toe. So it's a YouTube channel about caravanning and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's the
I'm disappointed.
I know.
Devastated.
But do you know what? Watch it from a camera operator kind of point of view, because bear in mind when he watches videos, he's filmed it himself, recorded it himself, audio himself, edited it himself,
Colour graded it
corrected
himself.
Colour correction, any graphics on there that he's done himself, everything is done him. And I dare anyone to not, who knows what they're talking about, not watch that and turn around and say he should be doing that for a living. Even right down to the fact of how good he is in front of a camera presenting, but the back end of it and the technique, he's brilliant. And sorry, just going back to my point, he's exactly the same. He could watch something of footage, and all us three sat here would sit there and go, "That's brilliant, that Rob, absolutely fantastic," and he'd go,
This could be better. That could be better.
Framing's off, not centred, or they're not in
Too
a
much
third.
headroom, whatever.
Yeah. Headroom thirds, they're not in a third, they're not in a... Yeah.
If you ever get a chance, just give it a watch, because I would actually be really interested to know.
I'll be honest, I'd love to know what you thought.
Okay.
I think there'll be you will definitely notice things that, like I said, these won't notice, and especially because I have to any mistake I make or anything that's not perfect, I just have to fix it when I'm editing it. Like if I have got too much headroom in a shot that I've done, and there's no one there to correct it with the camera because I'm in front of it. And so I have to then do it in post and whatnot. But I would love to know what you thought of some of it. Yeah.
We'll have a little look after.
Yeah.
No
I'm struggling for viewers.
And also, we should watch the Christmas special, the Christmas speech.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's all of us
Hang on.
in here.
A caravan towing Christmas special.
No.
What?
So
This is welcome into Rob's head. He's merged subjects here.
So when this Christmas we did the chatting Christmas speech. So rather than watching The Kings, who was obviously boring, you would watch ours instead. We released it on Christmas Day, 3 p.m, and it's us four in the pub doing our own little speech. But again, that was filmed.
I dread to think what marks were. T'other mark on this. Yeah, I've known Mark for quite a few years now.
Well,
I need to listen to that.
Yeah, you'll have to. We'll give you that. We'll show you when we finish recording. Absolutely.
So have you got anything major lined up over the next couple of months that you know about that's coming up, or?
No, because I've just had a little baby. So
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So I've
Opposed
not,
to a big baby. Yeah.
well, it's what Mrs. could fit in. So basically, I've not got anything properly lined up. They've just left me on the basic day-to-day press conferences, normal rota sort of stuff. So there's no work trips coming up for me at the minute or anything like that. I've got a meeting tomorrow about a few things and a few ideas that I want to put forward. But in terms of specific big events or anything, there's nothing like that lined up for me at the minute that I know of.
So I can't let that go a minute when you've just said that. So when you say some ideas that you want to put forward, as in like production ideas, or
Yeah, so basically,
you don't have to tell us the ideas. I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
what from what kind of angle?
yeah, just more production is more as we're doing an interview, cutting it and sending it edited live as we do it, stuff like that. Just how things can operate a little bit smoother and easier and cost effective. A few little tweak of how we run day to day, basically, that I think could and should be better for the business, and then operationally for all the guys and girls that do my job, basically.
You love it, don't you?
Yeah, it's
You can tell. You can just.
Yeah.
You can just tell the way you talk about
It's
it and
passion.
how comfortable you are talking about it, but the way that you're looking at it from every single angle.
yeah, because like in the team of 10 that I'm in, I'm one of the ones that will look at how it all works and understand, because I did accounting at uni, so I understand the business of it a little bit.
Almost like the logistics of how it all
Yeah,
works.
yeah. So I'm quite good at logistically working out how we're going to do certain jobs and why is this going to work, and well, hang on, that's not going to work. We'll do it this way. Whether that be on like a production side of things in terms of technically, or whether it be like a producing side of things and what's going to make a better, not a better story, because you can't make stories up obviously, but how you can tell the story better and make it the viewer understand what the story is. There's not always a lot of stories around sport in terms of you're not telling a story like the news in a way of they're reporting on whatever they're reporting on with like Prime Minister and all that sort of stuff. You're sort of just reporting on this player's injured, that player's injured, they're coming back from suspension, this formation's not working. But you can, within that, there is a story to tell, and it's how you get that across to the viewer.
Yeah.
Especially seeing as a lot of the viewers that are watching programs like that are emotionally invested, aren't they, with
Yeah.
it as well? So sometimes, like you said, the news or whatever, it's on because it's on.
Yeah.
It's on because it's in the background, or it's on because, whereas people that, I know people that literally they get up in the morning and they switch on Sky News,
Yeah.
Sky Sports News, if you like, and they just got it on all day, and they will sit and watch it all day, whether it's about transfer windows
Yeah.
or, like you said, injuries or whatever, but they're emotionally invested into it.
Yeah, and then also like people get attached, particularly to their football club, more so than just about anything.
Yeah.
People love their club, whether United, Wednesday, Rotherham, whoever. People love their club, and they understand when someone's on screen, whether it be one of our reporters or whether it be the manager or player of the club. They understand the tactics and the emotion and finance these days as much as anyone. So you have to be educated when you're reporting what's going on and showing that on screen.
Do you find that when you watch other people's work, when you're watching other people,
Yes, I do slag other people off,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, not necessarily that work for Sky, but any
Oh,
of the-
yeah. Like
any of-
local news
Yeah, you watch it,
winds
you
me
go,
up a lot.
nah, frame that wrong.
Yeah.
No, sounds all over the place. No, he's not done that right.
Yeah, local news winds me up quite a lot, but they do it on a cost basis. They're getting a lot of youngsters in that are learning, making mistakes on it. That's just the way it is.
Just because that's the best place for him to learn.
I don't know whether it's...
The cheapest
Yeah.
option.
Well, it's the cheapest option for local news to get people from, and to be fair to the youngsters coming out of college or uni or whatever, they're getting paid and then they're learning on the job.
Yeah.
I only learned on the job, but I'd always got people around me. Like with Sky, it's better now, but back then when I started, it was very much sink or swim. If you didn't sort yourself out quickly, you weren't getting any extra work, especially because I was freelance.
Yeah.
If I were making mistakes at the beginning, left, right and centre, I wouldn't be here now.
No.
Did they shot you? So you mentioned really famous people that you met. When would you say you felt most overwhelmed when you were in the company of somebody?
Apart from right now.
Well,
I don't think I ever have. One of the most nerve-wracking things I did, like obviously, the first stuff I did on camera was always live. So straight away I was on doing Soccer Saturday live camera. So I wasn't overawed or shocked by that. But that's obviously just a still shot. Like
Yeah.
The reporter, basically, I always had a habit of sitting them down so they can't move. A few technical reasons why, but it just made life easier, ultimately.
Yeah.
For lighting and all sorts of reasons. But that was just camera on a tripod. Never had to worry about it. Get my audio settings, lighting settings done, sorted. The first time I was doing what's called an envision at a cricket game, the reporter like, right, we're going to go do a post-match now. I'm like, I've never filmed post-match before. And it's easy. Basically, camera on my shoulder, reporter has a microphone, away I go. But I'd never done it. So he was like, oh, we're going to do it as an as live. I'm like, what's one of them? So basically, I didn't want to tell him that because
Yeah.
I'm there to do a job, so I've got to know what's going on here. So all it is basically starting a reporter, pan to your guest, come back. But I had all sorts in my head going, focusing. All I'd ever done was zoom in on someone, focus, zoom out. Like doing focus, sorted. Unless your back focus is out, but you never changed it. Whereas when you're going from a reporter there to your guest there, I was like, the focus is going to be different. Am I going to get this right? Am I going to get it wrong? But I had to do it, and you can't. In theory, I could have done it 2 or 3 times, but when you've got a guest there that's a sports person, he stood there waiting, he wants to do his interview and then go and have a shower because he's done the game. You've got to do it first time, and I was like, I had to just do it.
And how did it go?
I didn't get fired, so it was all right.
Is that how you judge things in your industry? Still got a job.
So let me ask you a question that following on from what Mark just said. So all these people that you've met, particularly the famous people, what's one person you've met that you obviously you know her because they're famous, and then when you sort of so-called met them, they weren't who you thought they were. Like,
Here we go.
In a good way or a bad way?
Well, I'm going to say probably do it in a good way as opposed to a bad way.
Who have you met that were a total...
As in you thought, well, you know, and then they've turned out to go, you know what, they are really...
To be fair, the vast majority of sports people I've met are all fine. I can't think of anyone. I've heard a few stories in a negative light about a Formula 1 driver, who I won't mention, but he may be really good and British. But I can't say I've never had that. I've just heard other people say he's not great to be around. But that's not my experience. My experience of all people I've met are all fine. Particularly the lower down the leagues go a little bit, like going to championship. They're all generally just working class lads that just happen to be really good at
Working
football.
class on 30 grand a week.
Times that by 10 for some of them.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, like you go to Man City, but they all were working class lads.
Yeah.
There's very few that were from posh backgrounds because I guess they don't have that drive in them to.
They're playing cricket or rugby, aren't they, I suppose?
Yeah, exactly. But they're all just generally nice people. Like on Soccer Saturdays, one guy, Matt, his first ever job for Sky, he was meant to be basically just watching and learning, but someone else phoned in sick, so he got sort of thrown in the deep end, put on TV with me, and I was like, look, say this, do this, end your reports by doing this, blah, blah, blah. End of the game, he was like, normally reporters are right, see you later, I'm off they go. Whereas he like, oh, I'll stay and help carry stuff. And I'm like, well, you don't have to, mate. You know, he's like, no, there'll be a load of traffic, don't worry, I'll help carry tripods and stuff. And I'm like, right, you're sound you.
Yeah.
But like, you didn't have to. So,
Do you like the buzz of live?
yeah.
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 Would you say you prefer that?
Yeah, I prefer when you're doing something that's a little bit out of the ordinary. So like the netball last year, I was looking after a lot, and like because it was netball, I was getting quite a lot of junior staff that were learning the industry as well. So I was having to teach them at the same time as building a bit of kit over there, as maintaining a bit of kit over there, making sure that was all working, and managing people and making sure it was all working. So that I really enjoyed.
And when you're live, would you be working more as a team? Would there be more different cameras, and would you be
Again,
wearing some sort of headset to nose live? Or
Well,
what,
it depends what you're doing. If you're doing like a football or a netball or where you got multiple cameras, you get a red tally light when you're on.
Yeah.
All that sort of stuff. All the camera ops have a headset and a microphone, so they can talk back to the director. They can hear the director saying on camera 1, on 2, coming to 3 next, on 3, blah blah blah. But if I'm doing like just a live outside Ellen Road, so I'm there this Saturday actually. All I would have my live view device, which is connected by a cable to my camera. That goes back to London. I'll have comms coming out of it so I can hear the studio, and then the producers and directors can key over it, and they can talk to me and my reporter. But
Just by a little device that plugs in.
yeah, basically it's a box that's probably a little bit bigger than that, but not much. And And that's just basically got a touchscreen on it, and you can see your picture going in. You can see what receiver you're plugged into. And then once you're on the right receiver, you call London. Can I come up on this receiver? Yeah, no. Press the button. You set your delay, because if you're live, obviously you have a 1 second delay. Whereas if you're sending a long interview, you put a 10-second delay in. So then if you get a bit of data glitch, it'll sort itself out.
Right.
But obviously you can't have a 10-second delay on a live, because the reporter will just be stood there for 10 seconds. And
Yeah.
not saying a lot. I have seen that happen. Yeah, so but then all I'll be listening to is the studio, and then with like under ear headphones, and then I'll have my big headphones on for the reporters' audio, and that'll be it. It all depends what you're doing and how the day's going.
Time at the bar, please.
Couple of quick fire questions.
Go on.
Favourite sports person of all time?
Is in personality or who I think's the best? Lionel Messi.
Interesting. Have you ever met him?
No, he's the one person I would really love to do an interview with. Yeah, even though he can't speak English.
Yeah, because
Favourite sport?
Football or F1. Tied between them for me.
Okay. And then moving on to a more personal note, which you touched on earlier, you've just become a dad.
I have.
How are you finding that?
Tiring. No, it's good. Yeah, it's tiring. Like a couple of nights ago, Penny did. She went into 3 hours sleep between feeds. That was like heaven. We thought we'd cracked it. We're like, yeah, get in there. She's now gone back into an hour between feeds.
Ooh.
And it's brutal when she's like that.
how,
It's
how
like,
old is she? How old?
She's
are you?
4 weeks tomorrow.
Wow.
Yeah, so she's brand new, basically.
Brand new.
So tonight must be
Still
luxury
under
feeds.
warranty.
I'm
yeah.
having a
I
night
was
off.
thinking, no, sorry, I've got an appointment. I've got to go.
We can talk all night, lads. Not a problem.
Yeah, like, we're wrapping it up now. He's like, no.
No, keep going.
Keep recording. I'm having an hour's sleep. Took me in.
I've got a question for you.
Go on.
So if we've got
What's your favourite lens?
No, if we just happen to have anybody that's listening that's actually younger, that's actually contemplated this and thought, oh, do you know what? It's something I'd quite like to do.
What, having a baby or
into
work?
Work.
Right, okay.
How? What would be the career path or the route to get into something like
It
this?
would possibly. See, I was fortunate because my uncle worked for a company in Sheffield. He basically, I met someone down the line, and then I just worked my way up.
And what course would it be that they'd do? Do you know? Have you got any idea?
I know there's media courses in general. There used to be like quite technical ones with how where were they? I think there was up at Leeds somewhere, where there's quite a technical course on how not just cameras work, but how technology within broadcasting works in general.
Right.
I don't know if they exist anymore, but yeah, most people I know that are younger come into it have come through a media degree
Yeah.
of some sort.
Right, so go and get a media degree, basically.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Sky, he wants to do an interview with Lionel Messi. Is it Lionel or Lionel? Lionel. Can you sort it? I'm just putting it out there on the...
No, because
the old
Mark,
Tintin.
no, because Mark's cancelled his Sky contract.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what?
Mark.
May have cancelled
Yeah,
it.
he had a falling out with somebody. Yeah,
Yeah,
before.
14 years old with Sky.
Okay. What happened?
Cancelled it. Just bad customer service.
They left him on live chat while they went for the lunch.
Nice.
Sorry,
Is that real?
Yeah,
Really?
seriously,
dear.
that's just the tip of the iceberg. Because when she came back,
Anyway, shall we spin the wheel?
and then when she came back, she went, "Oh, the offer that I offered half an hour ago, it's now changed. It's gone up." I'm like, right, you know what? I've had enough of this. I've gone. I've quit. Anyway,
Shall we spin the wheel?
shall we?
Absolutely,
Shall
why
we?
not?
Yes.
Here we go. Oh, it's spinning. What's it gonna be? Oh, I'm just so excited. Come on. He's nearly there. The Wheel of Features.
So what we do now, Steve, we spin the wheel, and the wheel has got many different features on it.
As you
And
can see.
whatever feature that it lands on
Randomly.
is the feature that we do in the episode.
Ah, okay.
So
That big wheel that you can see at the back
Yeah.
there. Look.
yeah. So spin the wheel.
Well, do you want to do the honours?
Oh, you can spin the wheel,
for
Steve.
us.
Ah, get
Yeah.
in.
What's it gonna be? Oh, what's it on? Oh. Hey! It's Kirk's.
What, which one?
Fact dumb. Brilliant. I like this one.
I wish you'd stop calling him names.
Well, actually, I'm going to sideswipe you a little bit. I'm glad it's landed on me, but I'm not going to do fact dump.
Oh.
Are you
I
allowed
like
to
that
do
one.
that?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Well, not normally,
No,
no.
we know you can't do
It's
that, but we'll
controversial.
go
Kirk's
with
tearing
it.
up the rule book.
I can do whatever I want. So I want to put another feature on the wheel.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Is it fact number 2?
No. So
Number 2.
it's kind of one that I've just been thinking about. It's not really rocket science. However, I think it'll make a good feature. So since
Okay.
it's landed on me, why don't I give it a trial?
Absolutely. What's it
Brilliant.
called?
today.
What is it?
So I
It's
haven't-
called.
I haven't thought that far ahead.
Oh, right. Okay.
Maybe we could put it out to the listeners, see what they think it could be called. Maybe they could name it.
When they know
what is the feature?
When
Yeah,
they know
I'm
what the
gonna say,
feature
what
is.
is it?
So basically, I'm going to play you a clip of a theme tune. So it could be a theme tune from a game show, TV show.
Like name that tune.
Maybe it's a theme tune, and
Yeah.
so you don't name the tune. It
All
doesn't,
right.
doesn't matter what the tune's called.
Do you know what's
Alright,
happening
okay.
here, Bob?
Yeah, you know what I mean.
I kind of
You
feel
play
like
a
it's
song
not
and you-
that complicated.
Well, that.
You're right.
Welcome
Listen,
to
I
Rob.
can
Welcome
make
to
anything
Rob.
sound
Welcome to Rob's
complicated.
world, yeah.
So yeah. So
Rob's got
basically,
his shoes on wrong feet.
I'll.
He's even checking.
I think what we could do with doing though is
On a pen
writing
and paper.
them down.
Okay.
Okay.
So we can just play one and write them down what you think.
All right. Okay.
So have you got some?
Oh, so we write it down as our guess.
Yeah, and
Right,
then
okay.
we'll go through them afterwards. Bit like a quiz.
Oh, is there more than one?
Bit like a quiz. Yeah.
Ooh. Oh, I
Yeah.
like this.
Okay.
Okay, go on then.
I like this.
Question.
So it
number
could
How
be.
many, how many are you doing?
Let's
20?
say
100?
5.
Five.
Five.
That's
Yeah, do
good,
five.
that.
5. Five's a nice number.
Right, off we go then. Coronation Street, first one.
So yeah, so remember it can be game show, TV show, or I might even throw in there a bit of a soundtrack from a movie, Rob, just to blow your brain a little bit more.
You mean
like
you mean a film?
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Just be in English.
All right, okay.
Film.
So are we ready for
been
the first?
frustrating.
Yeah, I'm
Are we
ready.
ready for the first one?
Ready?
Yeah. Ready.
Okay. Don't shout it out.
Spin
Write
it.
it down.
Okay.
Spin it.
Spin it.
Life is like a hurricane.
So that's your first one.
Walking on the moon.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to hear it again?
Yeah, because I don't know
I
what
don't
it is.
need to.
Life is like a hurricane.
Brush strokes.
Number 2.
So that's your first one. Have you got that one?
Yeah.
Steve, do you have me? How old are you?
Me, I'm 41.
Oh, it's the same age. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
I know I've got a lot of grey hair, but you know.
No, I thought you were the same age
Yeah.
as me and Kirk.
Right, okay.
Next one.
I don't think it's that.
Is it all of that?
Can you play that one again, please?
Do we get a clue as to whether it is a TV
No.
thing or no? Oh, okay.
No, that'd be too easy.
So are you getting to that one?
Okay. Do we get the answers today, or?
Yeah, we can
oh,
do. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
Hey, it's good this.
Third one.
Third one. That's not giving much away, is it?
No, but
I know what that is, but I can't remember its jumping name.
Do you realise how many people right now will be screaming at our podcast?
Yeah, and I'm like, I know what that is, but what? Like, I know what it is.
Would you like me to play it again?
Yeah.
You can play it 100 times at minutes. I know what it is. I
You
just
could
can't.
argue that's actually for 2 different programs.
Oh.
I'll take either.
Okay. Do I get a bonus point for
oh,
that?
okay.
You might do. Ooh.
Oh yeah.
When we do the answers, are we going to go around individual and say what's your get, and then tell us who's right instead of us just shouting out randomly?
I don't know whether you've figured this out yet, Mark, but we're kind of winging this. So
Well, I'm
first
just,
time
I'm,
doing it.
definitely
So
winging it.
whatever you think.
I'm just
Whatever you
putting
think.
a plan
As with
together.
most other things we do on this podcast.
Okay, so number 4. Would you like it again?
Yeah, please. Sounds American to me, that.
To me, it sounds like
EastEnders.
Egyptian or Persian or something. But I can't think of any programs around them.
Okay, and number 5, last one. You ready?
Is that it?
Would you like it again?
Yeah.
I don't need it
I
again.
I know it's one of the things that.
Can we have the second half?
Ready? Hold on.
I can't believe you're struggling with that.
That's all you've got.
That's easy, isn't it?
I don't think a lot of our younger listeners will even
So
know what these are.
That's
How many younger
Oh, they
listeners
will.
do you actually have?
Yeah. One barrier.
We don't actually know how many we have, but
Okay then. So what have you got for answer 1?
DuckTales.
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 Absolutely, DuckTales. What do you get, Mark?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Didn't even know it.
Oh, do you know what? It's actually been voted one of the best theme tunes ever, like from ever.
Really?
program,
It's not by me, it
Yeah,
weren't.
voted, yeah.
Recognisable, it's got to be.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah,
I knew it from like the first beat.
yeah.
Yeah, I
absolutely.
did.
So
Literally,
I.
so it started. That's
who was
what
watching
made me ask how
DuckTales?
old you were, because I thought he knows this.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
got to be a
Yeah,
similar age.
yeah.
DuckTales.
Never even seen it.
Oh, well, you won't,
Okay,
because you
what
were
have you got
obviously
for second
TVs
one?
didn't exist
Second
when you
one,
were
Rob?
when that came out. Yeah, number 2.
you got?
Well, I didn't know, but I put Little House on the Prairie.
You didn't. That's what I put.
That's what I put.
I put out something.
I went Sound of Music.
You guys don't know me at all, do you?
Although
Is it the Waltons?
although it did sound a bit oceany.
Yeah.
When you say we don't know-
Look, Little House on Prairie.
You know what I mean when I give you the answer.
Go on then.
It's the West Wing.
All right.
is it?
Oh.
Yeah, but you said it. You didn't say. Well, when we play this, they're all things that I like. You never said that, did you? Yeah.
These are all boring
They're all
programs that you lot
programmes
don't
that
watch.
I like.
Yeah.
It's one of the best. It's the best program ever made.
Yes.
Oh, that's controversial.
It is the best program ever made. There's
24.
There's no, but that's the second best program
Right,
ever
okay,
made.
fair enough.
I'm gonna say, good, well done. 'cause
Followed
that's
by
second.
DuckTales.
No, followed by Suits, I'd say.
Ooh,
and
yeah,
then
okay.
Newsroom.
Right, can we get back to the quiz?
That was
please?
very good. I like that.
See?
Very good.
Yeah, very good. Number 3. Well, I've got both. I've got House of Dragon and Game of Thrones.
Mark,
I didn't get any.
I've got both.
I put Pirates of the Caribbean.
correct. Game of Thrones or House of Dragon.
Brilliant. Do you get 2 points
Do
if
they
you got
use the
them
same
both?
theme?
No,
No.
because they're the same theme.
No, that's just bragging. So you'd,
Why is
you'd
this-
lose a point.
Why is the two different programs using the same theme?
Because it's based on the same story.
Yeah, it's like a spin-off of
Oh,
the...
right, okay, fine. I thought they were
It's like a
completely
prequel.
different. I thought they were completely.
Thrones and Dragons.
Right, okay.
Number 4.
So, this one I thought were American, but I'll be honest with you, I struggled. I've put NCIS.
Okay.
Well, I know that it's not the actual theme tune because the theme tune's 24 sounds different. However, it did start like it was building into the ticking. So I thought
No, I
24,
don't think it was that.
and then I thought, like you said, with Persian. So I wrote The Mummy as well.
Okay.
I can't obviously have both.
I'd
guesses,
throw
can I?
Prince of Persia from the computer game, guessing there might be a series called that.
Okay.
And I put it sounded like something from Disney's Frozen 2.
Oh, nice. Okay. Prison Break.
Well, I wouldn't have got that because
Quite a
I've
well-known
never
programme.
actually... Yeah, I've never actually watched it, though.
And I'm very good. It's very
Yeah,
well.
I've
The
never
first 3
watched that.
seasons are good. So now I'm going to go around the other way. So not you first, Rob, for this one. In fact, I'll miss Rob and Steve out for now because I know for a fact you've got this last one. So, Mark,
I didn't get anything.
for the
Nothing
fifth,
at all.
For the 5th one,
No, nothing.
Other
Nothing.
Mark.
I had a guess, and I was
Nothing.
just guessing on what, and it'll be wrong. But now I'm thinking it could be something different.
Get on
so
with
I
it.
wrote The Walking Dead.
Okay.
I've never seen it, so I don't know what it sounds like. But I was thinking, is one of those sort of gangstery sort of. I don't know if Walking Dead's gangsters. It's zombies, isn't it? What's that one with Shelby's?
Shelby.
Peaky Blinders.
Yeah, I
No.
thought could it? It's that sort of. But I don't know.
So Rob and Steve on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely class.
So that's my new idea for a feature.
I
I
like
liked it, but I just didn't get any.
well, that doesn't.
I like-
doesn't
I
You
like
didn't
surprise
get
me.
any?
Didn't get any. No.
Not that I'm competitive, but who won? Was it me and Rob?
I got 1. I got 3.
I got 3.
It was a draw.
How many did you get, Mark?
I'm just having a look now. I got 1.
Well, that DuckTales.
Yeah.
And I got 0. Great game. I liked it, but I didn't get it.
All right,
well,
well,
we'll have some
okay.
easier ones.
So next time we need
Yeah.
a name.
A name.
theme
We
tune.
put that
A
out to the
theme
listeners.
tune.
The listeners can come up with the
They come up with a name, and then when they've come up with a name,
Yeah.
then
Yeah,
make
you
a theme
can play it
tune.
on a kazoo.
Yeah, then we get a theme tune.
an
And then-
intro.
An intro.
It needs
theme
an
tune.
intro.
Yeah, absolutely.
And on that note,
And on that.
actually, yeah. I'm just thinking
ignore
that Steve's
Steve.
coming back every week. I've enjoyed having him on that much. I just want him back
How
every
much do you
week.
pay, by the way? Who do I send the invoice to?
Negotiable.
You have to start paying in. That's how it works. It's podcast, unfortunately.
You'll say that's how it works in this podcast.
At the minute, it's
effectively
£60 a month.
I'll take it.
Yeah, so Rob, what did you reckon to your surprise guest?
Honestly, mate, I've loved every second of having you on here, Steve. Honestly, it's been
Thank
a
you.
pleasure.
Been good, hasn't it?
Absolutely enjoyed it. Loved
Thanks
it.
for coming on, Steve. It's been great having you on here, and
Yeah.
all the best with your sleepless nights.
Oh, cheers. I know, like this called the chat in. Where's the beer?
Well,
Saleh?
yeah, absolutely. Do you want a beer?
Yeah, we'll have a little shandy.
Go, let's have a beer. It's been a pleasure. See you next week, boys.
boys.
See you later.
Thank you for your continued support with our independent podcast. Did you know that you can interact with us and other listeners on Facebook, on the Chat In Tap Room Facebook group? You can also get in touch via email, inthechat@gmail.com, and of course on any of our socials. Thank you, and we'll see you next week.